Well, folks, it happened again. Orangina's no good, very bad week of terrible press seems to have led to another attempt on his life. Well, we're not quite sure yet if that's the case, but it sure makes for some good fundraising. Well, the story is that theoretically, possibly, hypothetically, maybe, perchance, a very messed up man radicalized by all kinds of inflammatory rhetoric coming from the Dem nominee took it upon himself to try and end the existence of the Orange Savior. Of course, it's also possible that it was just another day in guns all the time, everywhere, even if you're mentally insane, Florida. Yeah. It's hard to tell if the incident was actually nefarious because in Florida, camping out in the bushes with a loaded SKS-style rifle isn't actually so strange. Maybe the guy was trying to rid the golf course of gophers or moles, which would have been an admirable way to volunteer his time for the good of the Sunshine State. You know, to keep the golf courses looking as groomed as Wussy Whiteboots Ron DeSantis. Of course, it's also possible that the guy was indeed on the scene intending to cause carnage, or at the very least, a really good photo op. It's uncertain as to whether some of the Secret Service were ordered to run behind the golf courts carrying giant American flags that day. You know, in case a photographer hiding in the bushes felt compelled to take a patriotic fundraising picture of the former POTUS fist-pumping his way onto shirts, hats, posters, screensavers, beer cozies, and baby clothes across the globe. Apparently, the dude with the pew-pew, Ryanrouth, never actually fired his pew-pew, but the Secret Service fired some rounds at him for good measure before he hopped in his car and took off, only to be peacefully captured after a brief car chase. Word on the street is that Ruth was camped out in the bushes for almost 12 hours, with snacks, a digital camera, 2 bags, a backpack, and of course the pew to the pew. We have no details yet about the focal length of the lens on the camera. I would venture a guess that if it was over 200 millimeters, we'd have to speculate that Ruth might have been hoping to execute the pew-pewing as well as capture some $1 million stock photographs of the men in black huddled around the Orange Savior, moving in slow-mo, as Orangina combed his comb-over, adjusted his lifts, tucked in his shirt, fixed his wedgie, and finally struck the winning pose. If the Butler, Pennsylvania incident tells us anything, we have to assume it's also possible that the Secret Service and Orangina sat down for a picnic before shuffling off to safety. It was such a nice day, who'd have blamed them? Well, as you might expect, Orangina is pinning the maybe, not sure, could be, harrowing ordeal on Dems. He said he can use his words to incite violence too, but he chooses not to. Miraculously, the fact-checker in the sky did not strike him down with a bolt of lightning for that doozy, but his nose may have grown a few sizes. The fundraising emails went out almost immediately. I wouldn't be surprised if Orangina started selling tiny chunks of his ear to his loyal minions, along with the pieces of the mugshot suit he allegedly chopped up to bring in cash. I guess with magically regrowing ears like Orangina's, he could sell chunks of ear tissue indefinitely and make a fortune. Well, the good news is nobody's talking about the baby man's tantrum at Taylor Swift on Truth Social, or Orangina being super handsy with racist, bigoted, all-around nasty pick-me princess Laura Loomer, or JD Grumpy Cat Lashalicious' admission to having created the Haitians eating pets story that he and Orangina have been shopping around for weeks. You know, the one that's resulted in intimidation, destruction of property, bomb threats, and abject fear for a whole bunch of hard-working Haitians who are here legally. Such lucky timing, huh, folks? I guess we'll have to wait to find out why Orangina decided to golf at the last minute, so the outing didn't appear on his official schedule and nobody would have known about it aside from his own team. Maybe Ruth is remarkably psychic, or maybe there's a mole in Orangina's inner circle. Maybe he wasn't pleased with the fist pump photo, so he wanted a retake with better makeup and a tighter girdle. We may never find out the truth of what happened at either pew-pewing, perhaps by design. One thing's for sure, the media's skepticism is universally malfunctioning and has been for a long time. So all we can expect to see are articles about a brave warrior cheating death twice in a couple of months and bouncing back like a lying, cheating champion martyr, the likes of which the world has never seen. Yay, America! Well, Orangina, have the day that you deserve. Yeah.